Welcome. My name's Jim Hochberg. I'm the president of Hawaii Family Advocates, which I'm also the chair of a coalition to let the people decide on marriage. That coalition consists of 40 different interest groups, many of whom are here. The entire island of Oahu is represented by neighborhoods here today. And we're here because we want the legislature to let the people decide on marriage. The Constitution of the State of Hawaii, Article 1, Section 23 says the legislature shall have the power to reserve marriage to opposite-sex couples. That came from the 1998 Constitutional Amendment. The bill that they're proposing to pass will have to change what's already in state law from 2011, the Civil Unions Bill. At that time, the legislature included in the law findings that read currently as follows. The legislature finds that the people of Hawaii choose to preserve the tradition of marriage as a unique social institution based upon the committed union of one man and one woman. The legislature further finds that because of its unique status, marriage provides access to a multiplicity of rights and benefits throughout our laws that are contingent upon that status. So, that has to be taken out of the law, which is in Chapter 572C-2, for them to make same-sex marriage new in the law. And the coalition to let the people decide on marriage says, don't take our choice to preserve traditional marriage as a unique social institution out of the law unless you ask us. If we say yes, fine. If we say no, no.
All right.
The legislature seems to be running away from us on this issue.
Wow.
On Tuesday of this week, Representative Owana had scheduled a local town hall meeting and canceled it.
Wow.
When she found out, I guess, that a bunch of people were interested in this issue. On Wednesday night, I was supposed to be part of a symposium on the religious exemptions in the proposed bill. That got canceled. Yesterday, there was supposed to be a meeting in Hilo with Representative Onishi. That got canceled. Yesterday, Representative McDermott sent a letter to Speaker Suki asking for neighbor island legislative hearings. That was denied. So the coalition includes people on Kauai, Maui, and both sides of the Big Island. They are going to be hammering their representatives and Speaker Suki for both informational meetings before the 28th and for actual legislative hearings in their communities. This issue is way too important to do it in the closet. Now, why should they even do it? There is no right, no civil right to same-sex marriage in the state of Hawaii under the Hawaii Constitution. 2 Hawaii Supreme Court decisions create that. The first one was in '93. It was Mayor v. Lewin. Stephen Levinson ruled 2 things. The first was there is no fundamental right to same-sex marriage under the right of privacy or otherwise in the Hawaii Constitution. And secondly, if because of that the state chose to reserve marriage to opposite-sex couples but did not give rights and benefits of marriage to the same-sex couples that couldn't marry, it would violate the Equal Protection Clause. We amended our Constitution to say the legislature has the power to reserve marriage to opposite-sex couples. The result of that amendment is the Supreme Court dismissed the rest of the case that was still pending in 1998, saying the constitutional amendment took the question of rights and benefits of same-sex couples out of the ambit of the Equal Protection Clause. So there's no fundamental right to same-sex marriage in the state constitution, and there's no equal protection problem with our current constitution. So why does the legislature feel the need to do this without letting you vote? That's something we need to get to the bottom of. Now, the other side uses this very simplistic message. Hawaii's marriage equality does 2 things. It's not this simple. It is very complex when you redefine marriage. We all know what happened in the 70s when marriage was redefined. In the early 70s, it was until death do us part. And in the mid-70s, it changed to no-fault divorce. And the reason the states across the country did that is they thought the result would be that they would reduce the fighting and tension in families, kids could grow up in nice households, the husband and wife living in separate places would be more at ease, and so they made it easy to get divorced. Do you know that if you want to divorce your spouse, you can file at the divorce court, and if they don't say a word, they're divorced. If they show up and argue about it, there's no defense, period. And what was the actual unintended consequences of no-fault divorce? Well, we know that husbands traded out 50-year-old wives for younger girlfriends. And we know that the women raised the kids with a whole lot less money than they had when the husband and wife were together in the house. We know that kids raised without fathers got into some big trouble. Drugs, crime, school problems, and not every single one of them. But we can look at the 50s and after no-fault divorce, and you clearly see currently in the mainland, in big cities, throngs of young 20-somethings doing all kinds of vicious crime to people they don't even know because they were not raised to be civilized adults. And that's what the institution of marriage is intended to do. Give a child a mother and a father to help raise them to become a civilized adult so that our society can move forward. There are unintended consequences to redefining marriage, and if these guys in this building don't know what they are, they should not undertake to redefine marriage. They should let us do it if we want to and be responsible for it. Thank you. The people decide how they Stewart to say a few words on this issue from the native Hawaiian pastor.
I'm a kahu from the Kaneohe side of the island, and the reason I'm here is because I'm not a protester, but I do believe that we have standards, and I believe that the standards protect the people. From the time that the Hawaiians first came to these islands, historically they had only one God. And then the Tahitian, Haole, came here. And by the way, the word Haole does not mean white person. The word Haole existed long before the first white person ever came. The word Haole described other Hawaiians, described other Polynesians. When I say Haole, I'm not talking about white. Jim is not Haole. He's born and raised here. He's a native Hawaiian. Maybe albino, a native Hawaiian. But the thing is that the Tahitians imposed their religion on the Hawaiians, imposed their caste system, took away our rights and privileges, and it was not until the 1800s, in 1813, it was our king, Kamehameha II, who overthrew, with his mother and with the leaders of the Hawaiian community, overthrew the religious caste system of the Tahitians, the Kapu system, and reinstituted a belief in one God. 6 months later, Hawaiians came from the mainland United States, Hawaiians, and brought the message that of who that one God is. By 1825, King Kamehameha declared that Hawaii was a Christian nation. The king declared that. Our culture was Christian. Our culture was a culture that believed in morality. And then there was another overthrow in 1893. And Haole came from the mainland United States and overthrew us. They imposed, and are still imposing today, their will upon the Hawaiian people. They think that the Hawaiian people are still savages, that they are ignorant, that they cannot make decisions for themselves, so they don't let you vote on things like marriage. Never, ever in the Kingdom of Hawaii has same-sex marriage ever been allowed, ever been condoned. It has never been accepted. It's still not accepted. They put words in our Hawaiian mouth and said that we want it. We do not want it. Because we don't want it. Yeah.
Just to put a close on what Pastor Russ said. The push to do the same-sex marriage for the last several years through Equality Hawaii and whatever they've changed their name to this week, has come from money from Colorado, a guy named Tim Gibbs. It is not a local thing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Amen.
Let the people decide! Let the people decide!